Welcome to Mosaic Arts Online. I'm Jennifer Kuhns. I'm excited to offer my latest course, Glass-on-Glass Mosaic. This method combines the translucence of stained glass with a mosaic approach, resulting in a striking and versatile style of art that reflects light and color. Glass-on-glass mosaic can be used in much the same way as leaded stained glass, as window treatments, privacy screens, and sun catchers. But the approach is very different because there's no soldering and it's not necessary to follow a pattern. Your pieces don't need to be cut and numbered in order to fit into a predetermined design. You can work with a pattern if you want, but you also can make it up as you go. I generally have a basic design, but I enjoy being able to adjust and make choices along the way. You can apply stained glass to other glass substrates like vases and votives and even mirror. In this course, I will start with a basic glass cutting lesson using my favorite tools. Once you know how to cut the glass, I will draw out a simple sun catcher design using a radiating pattern. Throughout this course, you will watch me work in real time as I create a piece that conveys dynamic energy and movement. These skills can be translated to any size substrate, and the pattern can be used for opaque glass, tile, or mirror tesserae. Many mosaic artists have had problems with grout bleed. This is when the adhesive doesn't fill the space between the stained glass and the substrate, and grout seeps in. I will show you how to have success with each project. At the end of this course, I will share a bonus section on how you can use clear, transparent, and other glass on a mirror substrate for a unique effect that has depth and shimmer. After you've taken this course, you will have the confidence and skills to add luminous color and movement to any glass surface. I love the way translucent glass in mosaic glistens, shines, and adds beauty to any space. Included in this course is a PDF of the suggested tools, materials, and resources. I can't wait to share this course with you.
Jen, thank you so much for coming to Mosaic Arts Online. You have brought another stellar course, something I've been waiting for some time. We finally got you back here, so now we have glass on glass with you.
Thank you. It's always fun to come and share what I have got to share.
That's right. I mean, you go back to your studio, you hone those skills, you work hard, and then we get to benefit from it. So before we get started about exactly what the Glass on Glass is offering, tell me a little bit about what are your inspirations or who inspired you that you create your art from?
You know, it goes back to childhood. I was an only child. I grew up in a forested area. I made art as entertainment, so that was just part of how I kept myself occupied, and as I got older it just continued to be a part of what I did, and I was just a hobby artist. I was I started gleaning glass from other stained glass artists, so I would get just a mix of scraps just of all different kinds. It was like a treasure trove to go through the scrap buckets, and so I just was working with what I could get my hands on. And as far as who inspired me, I'd say with mosaic, my earliest influence was probably Irina Charny, or at least I can't really say influence, but the first person that caught my eye, and I thought, that's beautiful, I'd like to do something like that.
Yeah, her work's incredible.
Yeah.
Well, that's amazing, and now you've just taken it to a whole new level. But since we're into this course, and it is glass on glass, but you also are bringing another talent that you are so good at, which is the radiating. And we can see it here in one of your pieces that is in a home up in Washington called the Bird of Czar. But tell us a little bit about how you got so good at the radiating pattern. And this is what she makes in the course. So you will learn her basic skills that can then take you to this once you've mastered them.
It's been a slow progress. I know early on some patterns caught my eye in a book that were it's a randomized grid. It's where it's a grid, but it's all mishmashed. And I started looking at other examples of that and trying to figure that out. And so I was using that a lot. And at some point I started, I also saw Sonia King was doing a lot of a radiating pattern. And mine, of course, it's a real different approach. But yes. I did start to angle those lines and learn how to take the same approach as where it's jiggity jogging. It's not just straight lines going out in rays.
No.
And I just slowly figured it out. It started out more rudimentary, and then little by little, I feel like I've gotten to this point.
Well, yes, in this piece. And in the course, you do share way more of your work so people can see. And it's really good to study it because it is something that can kind of stump people. So studying it and then practicing it small before you try and go big is a recommendation.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. And practicing drawing it. And that's one of the really cool things about this effect and this style is that visually, somebody who doesn't know how to do it, it's a little perplexing. They can see that it's radiating out, but it's not just in straight lines. So it's just a really visually interesting, impactful, dynamic pattern to include in the mosaic.
Absolutely. And then the glass on glass. It's a really popular technique with mosaic artists and obviously stained glass artists, but having the transparency and having a clear glass substrate, that's, a whole other thing. And you talk about that and how you are so successful at no grout bleed and how so will your students be.
And again, it's from, 20 some years of playing in the studio and starting out with, getting these scraps from other glass artists who do more leaded glass and fused glass and not really knowing what to do with the really translucent ones at first. And having to learn how to create work that incorporated that wasn't opaque. And then I think it was Kelly Knickerbocker who initially turned me on to Lexel at the time. So for a long time I was using Lexel with good success and figuring out how to fill all those gaps. And then I eventually found the adhesive I use now is the liquid nails, and I have come to really like that. I have a great experience with it, and so that's what I recommend to students. But I also give some alternatives because it's not for everyone. I know a lot of people just can't stand the smell or are concerned about using it. And so there's this alternative, and then Lexel is another alternative. Right,
and you go over that in the course. But from beginning to end, you will see Jen make this whole piece, which will then teach you, as you work alongside her, how to have a totally successful glass on glass.
And I go into how to spread the adhesive, how to keep clean while you're working so you don't end up with the common problem of the glue is all over everything or filling the interstices so you don't have the little bubbles in your grout. There are lots of little tricks and tips in this course that will help you out.
Well, we always like to bring the expert in their technique and style here, so I cannot thank you enough for coming to Mosaic Arts Online and bringing a course I know a lot of people are very excited about.
It's always fun, and I can't wait to see what people make after they've taken the course.
Yes, hopefully you can post in our comment sections or at Foundations and Fundamentals. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Woohoo.